Now, in today's video, we're taking a look at the Dreame H15 Pro CarpetFlex. And this is a wet dry vacuum, but not the type of vacuum that you've been seeing us review lately where it's automated going around your floor, just cleaning things up. But this is more of a stick style vacuum that can be used to address large areas. We're talking about 3,000 square feet of cleaning or small areas for sudden spills and things that may be happening in your kitchen or somewhere around your home. Very powerful vacuum. And one of the things that sets this aside is that it has a heat setting. This heat setting basically allows it to deposit hot water as it's cleaning surfaces. And if you have tiled floor or wood floors, this makes a lot of sense. It also has the ability to switch out the roller with one that is more appropriate for carpet. So in today's video, we're going to take a look at its features. We're going to go over a torture test. We're going to put it through, taking care of stains and spilled, I would say, like tomato sauce and things of that nature, so you can see how well this thing performs. So first, let's go ahead and talk about the spec. This has a lot of suction power. And if you're like me, and we have three Pomeranians, I was going to say four, but one's with my son, three Pomeranians, and they're hairy, and this thing features a TangleCut 2.0 upgrade or technology that basically means that as it's cleaning, if it does run into hair, it will not get tangled. That means that you don't have to take out scissors or anything to actually cut the hairs from the roller. That is amazing. So it has that and it works really well. It also features 194-degree hot air drying. Very important. You've heard me say this before. A smelly roller means a smelly floor. A smelly mop means a smelly floor. So having something like this that actually uses heat to dry out takes care of bacteria, takes that care of smell. There's all this stuff that happens and also leaves the roller like if it was brand new. And you're going to see that as well. It also has, this dust control feature as well that really helps with as it's cleaning. It's called this mist lock dust control. Hard surfaces it can do. So if you're thinking about tile, hardwood floors, any kind of stone-like surface, not a problem. And then if you have carpet, it does that as well. So you're going to be able to cover a lot of different surfaces with this, and it's just by switching out the roller really quickly. Now, the mop itself has a 480 RPM mop, and it basically has also a unique feature. Because it's kind of like a stick version, it has the ability to lay completely flat and move forward and back. So if you've ever had to reach really low, and you know how sometimes you get on your knees and you start doing one of these things, you don't have to do that with this thing. It literally has, when you lay it, it has wheels that support the actual mop, and it's able to glide easily in and out of these surfaces or areas that are really low and have to be addressed. Now, in addition to that, you have self-cleaning, right? This self-cleaning also cleans itself, and this is combined with that hot air drying, 212-degree hot water cleaning. The hot water is going to make sure that again, roller stays clean, and it also gives it extended life. And it's just a overall, delight to see how this thing works. It has 3-hour fast charging. It has 60 minutes of runtime. And once again, like I said, it has 3,700 square feet of cleaning. Now, it has multiple modes, right? It has a hot water mode. It has a standard mode. You'll see all the modes as I'm cycling through it. And the one thing I will say up front is that if you do use one of their hot water mode, it's going to cut the battery down significantly because it's actually providing that hot water. And what I typically do is I don't really clean the entire surface or even we don't really clean the entire, let's say, kitchen with the hot water. We use it for the stubborn area. So things that we want to make sure that are stubborn, we do it. And then it also has all this AI technology that's going to detect dirt and let you know if it's clean. So let's take a closer look at this robot. And again, I call it a robot even though it doesn't operate on its own because there's a lot of tech inside. Let's get right to it. Now, as we take a look at the H15 Pro, you can see that it is quite a vacuum. It is reminiscent of a stick vac, but it has a lot more going on, especially between this unit right here and what you see in the base. So what we're going to do is we're going to take it off the base and take a look at everything that's going on here. We will take a look at some of the controls and some of the storage compartments, cleaning compartments, liquid compartment, and things like this. The first thing that I'm going to highlight is that depending on where you're going to put this, I would put it in an area where you don't have to worry about it being overly loud, because when it does go through the drying cycles, it does get a little bit loud, and you want to make sure that it's not in something where it's going to bother you. So we have it in our living room. Our kitchen is on the next level, and this seems to work well for us especially as it's doing its cleaning and the maintenance that goes on with it. You'll notice that it is powered, so you need to make sure that you're close to an outlet. And let's take a closer look at the H15 Pro closer. Now, for the sake of this review, I'm going to be flipping things over so that you guys can see this a little bit better. And I also left the stickers on here so you can see everything that each one of these labels indicate. And I'm going to get on the other side so you can see what's going on. So first of all, what you have here, there is a control that I'm going to show you in a second that allows you to swap from mode to mode. So you're going to see as soon as I press this, and you're going to hear it too.
Hot water mode.
So notice hot water mode gets indicated here.
Suction mode.
Suction mode is here. And basically this means that it's just going to suck up water if you have spills on the floor.
Turbo mode.
Turbo mode is for, again, super power suctioning.
Smart mode.
Smart mode is just going to auto adjust based on if the floor is dirty or not.
Hot water mode.
And then you can see how it goes back to the hot water mode. Now,
Suction mode.
the one thing I will say
Turbo
is that
mode. Smart
in our experience, the hot water mode, and you'll see the actual temperature rising, really eats a significant part of the battery. So what I do is we limit the use of the hot power or the hot water mode to when we want to deal with stubborn stains. That's the only time we would use it. So that's what's going on in this control. You can see how easy it is to access it and move around, and that this is a Wi-Fi connected device. So let's take a look at some of the compartments before, and we'll look at the docking station before we actually test it out. Now, in the front of the robot, you do have this compartment here, which is going to be your water compartment. There are no separate detergent compartments with this robot or this vac. And that means that you'll have to dose the water if you want to be able to have any kind of scented or cleaning solution. I'm going to flip this around to the back. In the back here, what you're going to find is a couple things. Notice that there's kind of like this little roller thing here. This is so that as the robot, if you lean it all the way down and you're trying to get underneath something, it has something to roll on so that the robot doesn't get scratched or it can move forward and back easily. I'll open this up. This is going to be kind of nasty, guys. So let me just show you what this is. This is our dirty water container. And the thing about this is that it separates, first of all, it has a filter, so you can see that right here. And what this thing will do is it will separate both the solids and the actual liquid from each other. So when I take this out, and again, this is going to be a little nasty, it basically has an area right here where it captures the solids, right? So you can see that there. And then what you have inside is whatever liquids it picks up. Because, you know, as you're picking stuff off the floor, you can have a combination of both. So you have both of those right here, and that goes in this section right here. And I will say that it does smell. So it doesn't smell when it's not open because of that filter that it has there, but it does if it's holding liquid in there. So what I would recommend is once you do a cleaning, empty it out. We had some there that I wanted to make sure I showed you. So it's kind of a little smelly. I just want to highlight a couple things here on the side. So first of all, you notice that this is the kind of extender. So as it's making itself closer to the walls, this kind of comes out and helps bring things in. But one of the things I have noticed is that you do sacrifice edge cleaning, right? So because of that, you'll notice how the actual roller, and you notice how this piece right here comes out a little bit. So what ends up happening is if you're working on the sides, it doesn't get as close to the wall as I've seen previous units from Dreame as well. So basically what you're doing is getting this area to have more reach, but the sides here are not getting the same type of reach, because you'll notice here how this little piece pops out and then also this comes in. That becomes, you know, a little bit of a gap for you if that's going to be important to you. Wheels on the back are really nice and durable. These look like they're all-terrain vehicle type tires, so which is really nice. And then pretty much what you have on the bottom here is your roller system. I'm going to tilt this over a little bit so you can see. Look how clean that roller is, right? And we've been using this like crazy, but it's super clean because of how the cleaning system works. Now I will say that I do have one negative that I want to share so far, outside of the one that I just shared with the edge cleaning, and that's this right here. This button is right here by the handle, and we press this button all the time. This is one of the cleaning buttons, and it just changes also the cycles a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and power this up and show you something.
Smart mode.
Right, so it's on, and then when we grab it here,
Please put the appliance on the charging base for self-cleaning.
right, we hit that all the time by mistake. I wish they had positioned this somewhere else, because we don't hold it all the way over here. We hold it right here, and you'll notice my palm can press this button. So that's one thing that I've noticed that kind of drives us crazy a little bit. And then here what you have is, and I think this is within good reach, when you want to switch modes, all you do is press this.
Hot water mode, suction mode, turbo mode.
So that makes a lot of sense. And the power button is right here. Now on the base here, you can see where all the cleaning takes place. It traps, the water actually is in that area right here, and it doesn't come out, right? So there is like a significant amount of water that gets dispersed so it can clean the roller. And the roller process is not a 2-minute process. It could take, several minutes, more than 10 minutes as it's cleaning and it's drying. But it makes a big difference because once again, you don't have a smelly roller and you have a roller that is very clean and has, it looks like it's brand new. Now this is kind of an extreme test for us because we don't leave things sitting out at night. But I wanted to go ahead and, just put this thing to the test. First of all, we have some tomato sauce right there. It's not as solid as coffee, and that's like an espresso coffee stain. And what we're gonna do is I'm gonna try cleaning that up with the actual mop now. I'm gonna go ahead and bring this in. And I'm gonna go ahead and switch to, well, we'll do it in normal mode. I just wanna do one pass on normal so you guys can see this. So I'm gonna go right here on normal and see how quickly that picked it up, right? And it's self-driving. So when I'm pushing this here, it requires little effort. So I didn't even have to turn on the heat mode on this. I'm gonna go over it one more time, and that's dry. Look how quickly that cleaned it off. Look how fast. I'm gonna go ahead and take care of this stuff over here. And because I have it in the auto mode, what you'll notice is, let me see if I can show you on camera, how it turned red, indicating that it knows that it's dirty, right? So we're gonna go over here, see how it's changed colors. That's the smart setting, knowing that, hey, there's something there that is dirty. So I'm gonna go ahead and then just go over this and clean this until it kind of tells me, hey, things are pretty good, right? So notice that the power setting changed. And let me show you what happened also. You'll notice that it's now green. Now it's changing colors, indicating that there's some dirt there that it needs to take care of. And it will just do that. It's going to tell you when it's done. So you can actually hear the difference in power setting once it's fully clean. Now, this is going to pick up cereals. This is going to pick up hair. This is going to pick up everything. And what I like about it is that there's no guesswork to, is it clean or is it not clean? Because that's definitely clean. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the heat mode. Let's go and switch it. So now it's changing. You notice how this is how long it takes for it to be able to get to the temperature where it's going to be ready for cleaning with hot mode. So I'm waiting for it to hit 100%. You can see how fast that is. But remember, this does take up battery, right? 76, 77, 80, 90. All right, so it's at 100%. Now let's watch what happens as we go over here. So we're cleaning that tomato sauce. Notice how it changed colors, indicating that it's detected that there's dirt there. And it's gone. That's how good this thing is. But it detects that it's still dirty. So I'm going to continue to just work this area until this turns green. And I can feel it tugging as I'm pulling back. Right? When I go forward, it's smooth and assisted. But when I pull back, there's kind of like a squeegee thing going on there. And you can see it's green now, indicating that this area right here is fully clean. We'll go over it a little bit more. We'll go over this side right here that we just did. And so far, you can see the actual process. It's all done. So now we have a floor that's actually clean. Everything is green. Now, so the dirty tank was full. We've emptied that out. And now what we're going to do is clean it. And what you have to do is press the cleaning button. And let me bring you up so you can see that. So right here, we're going to go ahead and press this button.
Start smart soaking self-cleaning with hot water.
And you can see it will start now. I want you to pick up how loud this is. So that's the process. So you'll need to think about where you're going to put the mop, because as it's cleaning, it does make noise. And I don't put it in the quiet setting. I think it's kind of loud, so it could be distracting too. So guys, that wraps up our review. See you in the next video.